the first time that we met?
I met you at Steven's house because we have a mutual ex, Lewis. So I was with Lewis and you had came through and you were with Amy, and that's the first time that I met you.
But it's not necessarily because we had a mutual ex, because when I met y'all, I wasn't with Lewis yet.
Right.
So we met at Steven's house, and that's
you were just friends with
yes,
Lewis.
I was just like cool with him. I'm not sure how we met fully. I think it was Luna that kind of brought us, because it was Luna there the first time. It was Luna, me, Amy. I think you was there. Or do you remember Luna being there or no?
I'm not sure.
Because I know it wasn't just me and Amy popping up at his house, at Steven's house, out of nowhere, and then finding you in.
So maybe, because Prime was not there, so maybe it was you, Amy, Luna, and then I remember Steven did like a whole ass performance, like a drag performance.
Because he was in drag the first time I came.
Yeah, and he was like dancing and stuff. But I know it had to be in Steven's house. That was the first time I saw you.
Yes, it was definitely in Steven's house. But I remember, no shade, I remember when he thought that you was trans at one point, right?
Who?
Steven.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Yes. Yo, I'm not bugging.
Mm-mm.
I am not bugging. It was something.
No. Because he never came to me and asked me that.
Well, he probably said it behind the bushes.
No, because I know Steven is very blunt. He never came to me and said that.
He never came to me either. But I remember Prime saying something about trans people or something, and he was just saying something. I remember, I don't know, but it was something being brought up or something like that. That's why I'm like, oh shit, like, shady.
Womp.
Period.
And then the second time I saw you was in 14th Street. It was just you and Amy, and me and Lewis met up with you, and I think that's when we met up with Luna and Prime later on.
And we used to drink the Dodgers.
And we went to McDonald's.
And I did your makeup.
And then Prime pressed Lewis at McDonald's.
I would never forget the time where it was like Lewis, you was sitting right across from him, and then somebody was asking, I think it was Prime, he was asking how big Lewis' dick was, and he was like, you remember?
No, I do not remember that.
Yes, I swear to God, he was like, I'm like, bitch, God, because low-key, I wanted to know.
Bitch, no.
I'm being dead serious. I'm like, I'm curious, because that same day when I went to Steven's house, you know he kissed me and Amy. He kissed us while you was in the house. I'm like, but it was so unexpected. Like, it wasn't like, can I have a kiss? That was rude, knowing that y'all was, you know. But it was you not being old enough for him at the time. Shade.
Bitch. I was not old enough for anybody. Let the record be known. I was one of those bitches that definitely lied about her age. I lied about my age to everybody. When I first met Johnny, I had people thinking that I was 18 for like 5 years. Knowing damn well I was chilling around all these people and I was like 14, 15, and nobody knew. 1% knew.
Wait, so how old were you when you was fucking around with Lewis?
I was like, I think 16, 17.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were younger.
But he knew.
He knew your age?
Yeah, he fully was aware.
I remember him saying that he didn't know. And you
at first he didn't know, but then like a few weeks later or like a month later, I told him, and he was still fucking with me.
It's giving pedophilia.
It's giving a bunch of niggas.
That's
because then when I reconnect with people later on, they're like, oh, you know, how old are you? And I told them, I'm like, oh, I'm 20 something. And they're just like, wait, so how old were you when? And I was just like, well, it already happened. So right, how you doing?
It was really good.
Right.
That's crazy. You made this post on Snapchat that definitely struck the nerve in my body. And like, I want to know how you feel about that post. The post was how trans people use filters to alter their voices and why they keep doing that when they got surgery and stuff. So I'm like, I read that post at one time knowing that I met you and you knew who I was, and you're not transphobic, but you're doing transphobic things, or you were doing transphobic things, like posting that thing, which you were just trying to be real. It didn't really sit right with me at the time, and I want to know, like, how do you feel about trans people now?
So I wrote that post on Snap and Facebook, basically what I was saying is what I don't understand is how people go on Snapchat and they use these filters and only show half of their face and change their voice. The whole point of me putting that post was basically just to say, like, why use these crazy filters and, you know, change your voice and hide who you are. Because if you're a trans person, you're obviously trying to become yourself. Why spend all that money on the surgeries to become who you are just to hide it? Like, I feel like if you're doing the surgeries to, you know, become who you are, then you should embrace it. That was the whole point of me putting that post, but I definitely could have worded it better. I don't have any harsh feelings towards trans people. I love trans people. I love the LGBT community. I have so much love for them. Every year I go to Pride. I show love. I am actually part of the LGBT community. I am bisexual, so there's no hate. And yeah, I could have definitely just worded it differently, but the whole point of it was more of like an empowering post. It just didn't come out that way. It came out as hate, but it was more just to, you know, tell people to embrace themselves.
Right. Because back then, like, not a lot of us had surgery.
Right.
So when you made that post, I was thinking, like, what surgery she's talking about? Because I haven't done my voice surgery to just like a year ago. So,
yeah, but I mean, but my post wasn't about you though.
Who was it about?
Bianca. It was about Bianca, and she definitely had a few surgeries. So I mean, it was more.
I think she only had her breast done.
Yeah, that's a surgery. She had her chest done, and I mean, it was just trans people in general. I guess it wasn't. I mean, she had part of it. She had part to do with that post, but it was more general. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna write this post specifically targeted to Quinn or specifically targeted to Bianca. It was more just like, I saw it, I keep seeing it, and I got something to say about it.
Is that you're very vocal. You being so vocal, like, could come across like really brutal and like being a bitch.
I'm fully aware.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you are. Because there's like a line in between, like, oh, like, this is how I feel and I'm just being honest. And I'm gonna word it like this so you can understand. When you speak, it's more like, bitch, take it. I'm gonna throw it to you. This is how I feel. I don't care how you feel.
I say things the way that I say it because a lot of people beat around the bush. And even if you try to word it as properly and nicely as you can, people will not take you serious. People will not listen to you, or people will just let it go in one ear and out the other. And I make sure that the things that I say is gonna sit. Like,
right.
I give you that tough love. I say the things that I say because I know as a person you can handle it. Or like in certain situations, if I've been cool with you for years, I know what you can and cannot take. But it's always gonna come from a place of like
love.
Care and love.
Right.
Because I know you can take it. Like, I just say the things that people think of saying. I just say it.
Yeah, like, speaking on me, like, I'm very approachable, so anybody could come and talk to me about anything. But it's always like people's mannerisms and how they like perform those words. Like, if you coming across aggressive with the words following, I'm gonna take it like, whoa, this bitch is being too much. But I feel like if it's being said like, oh, Quinn, like, I feel like this, why are you breathing so hard? Like, me being approachable, I'm definitely like a much better candidate to like speak with, because a lot of people's not like that. Like, people are sensitive, and that's what crosses my mind too. Like, when I speak to people, it's more like, let me make sure that I don't speak to hurt them, because a lot of people speak to hurt people. You know that some people may take it and some people are stronger, and those are the people that you can talk to. But then there's some people that is a little bit more sensitive. You gotta change your tone a little bit, try to put yourself in their shoes. Like, you never know what people are going through behind closed doors, because we don't really know them like that. So that's why I kind of learned, like, to be nice to people, because you never know.
No, because like, even if I do change my tone and, you know, come to them, you know, I guess correctly and nicer and with a better tone, it's still, it's like, it doesn't do nothing. So it's kind of just like, I'm just going to come at you how I'm going to come at you. Not on some crazy shit, but like, I'm just gonna, you know, do it how I see fit.
Right.
So you can get it. You could be nice to somebody and they will not take you serious. They will let it go in one ear and out the other.
Right.
So sometimes even changing your tone and changing your words, it has no effect. I make sure that there's an effect.
But do you feel like you have that same tone with everyone?
I do.
That might be the issue.
See, that's not the issue. I really just feel like people need to respect it. Because a lot of people, they stay quiet or they want to do that I'm going to be fake things so this person could be my friend.
Right.
And I'd rather just, because I am your friend, I'd rather just keep it real with you.
When we're on FaceTime, like, you give off that vibe that is so strong, especially when you say, this is how I say things, if you don't like it, fight me, or like, you said that before. Like,
no, yeah,
because like, girl, you don't even need to do all of that. Like, I'm like,
no, I mean, that's not how I mean to come across, but it's just like, I am a person who chooses to say how I feel and be very expressive and very vocal. And regardless if you're nice or not, people are going to take it how they want to take it. It's just like through texting. They're going to read it how they want to read it. They're going to interpret it how they want to interpret it.
Right.
So if I was to say something to somebody and they felt, you know, crazy about it, and they choose not to be vocal and speak to me as an adult about it, like, I don't know why you're talking to me like this. Like, there's different ways to say it. Some people would want to get crazy and want to fight because of how I say things.
Right.
So it's like, if a person gets crazy over it, I mean, you know, do how you see fit.
Right.
I, as an adult, respect it because I know exactly how I'm saying things and what I'm saying. But because I am that way with people, I expect people to be that way back with me, like, as far as, like, being real. Because I'd rather somebody, you know, if you was to come to me and be bluntly honest and real and say the most craziest shit to me, will it hurt my feelings? Maybe. Will it get me upset? Maybe. But I would respect it because you're being real. That's how I see it. So I really, in my head, I be thinking people are like that, but they're not. Because some people just, you know, they don't take it the way I would take things.
Right. I am very, like, honest. I'm not going to say brutally because I care about people's feelings, but it's more like, I want to tell you something and I don't want you to take it the wrong way, but this is how I feel. I used to be brutally honest, like you. In like high school, oh my God, like I used to be like very vocal there. Not a lot with like you, and because you remember back then I was very quiet. Cause to be honest, I didn't really like people back then. I ain't like nobody. The only one that caught my eye was Lewis at the time. I was like, oh, he's cute. He was smiling at me, ha ha. He was missing the tooth. He was.
I was gonna say, in my head, like, this is tooth. But I didn't know how she was gonna be on this.
Right. Period. But he was still handsome. He was still handsome. And you know, he was my best fuck. The tea.
He gave good head.
No, yeah, bitch.
Like
when he go, bitch, what? When you went to Florida,
okay,
did you and Lewis hook up?
Yeah.
I figured. Because I remember, I don't know if he told me or somebody was saying something.
No, I posted a picture of me and him. I think he reposted it, and then you saw it. And he told me, like, oh, Quinn's mad. Or, like, you felt a type of way.
I was not mad. I just wanted to know, like, what was going to happen because I was curious. But I wasn't mad. He lived in Florida, so why would I be mad? It's not like he's going to come to me.
Yeah, like, I went to Florida with one of my homegirls, and I was like, posted like, who's in Florida? He was one of the people that responded. I was like, oh shit, like, you know, he's out here. Let me see him. Nice. So me and my friend ended up picking him up, and we brought him to our resort, and we chilled. And then I was like, come with me. So we went back to the Airbnb and we fucked in the shower.
Yo, you low-key a slut, bitch. Like, no shade.
No, because listen, I'm on vacation. I want a dick instead of a random person I do not know. What a coinkydink. My fucking ex is out here. Let me go fuck my ex. It's familiar territory. I could do that.
Okay.
Fully unaware of whatever situation he got going on.
Because we weren't together, so it's okay. So, and it didn't really matter to me, honestly. I just knew something was going to happen. I'm like, y'all taking pictures together, something bound to happen. Even if it was at that moment, but later on it was going to happen.
I still have that picture.
What picture?
That picture. Yeah.
Period. As you should. But I don't have no feelings towards him no more because I just heard that he just became a little bit more messy. His new girlfriend is not even all that. And
I kind of regret like linking up with him in Florida because it was a no. Like he was just not it. Like the sex was okay, but then like he was just giving bum. He was giving bum vibes. Like the vibe he was giving was just not the vibe that I remembered. And yeah. I kind of got to the point when I was just like, all right, well, you know, go home, because my friend was not taking him back, and he had somebody come pick him up. So that person came and picked him up, and I was like, thank God. Like he done went in my fridge, ate the lasagna, like ate a lot, and I'm just like, you need to leave. I was gonna have him stay with us. I was like, no, you need to leave.
What made you want to tell Luna exactly what I told you when I was venting to you?
It's not something that I just went and ran to him and told him. It kind of just came up, and that's when it just slipped out. Because, you know, it kind of just came up. It just came up and that slipped out. There was no real reason for me to say what I said.
The only thing that kind of like turned me off a little bit was like, I felt like that it was definitely not your story to tell. Because of course, like when I met Luna, she was very messy, and she knows that she was messy. And that's why I never really wanted her around like where I lived or my area, because I felt like she's that type of person, no shade, like she's that type of person that would like send people to my house. Like she looked like that. Like she may not be that now, but she seemed that way before. Like she looked very like the type to set people up. And that's why I was like, I don't know, I don't want her to know where I live, where I go, where I chill at, nothing. And I wanted to see the change from her specifically, because she kept telling me, Prime, you, that she changed now, she's much better now, she don't really care about people, whatever, And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I gotta see it for myself now. So that's why I vented to Prime and you. Like, maybe I shouldn't have, because we was just reconnecting, and your loyalty is more to Luna, which I kind of get. But when I vented to you, I thought it was going to be kept between me and you.
Right.
But then you end up talking to her. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't tell Leah nothing now because she runs her mouth.
Luna told me in the conversation that we were talking about something, and Prime was like, oh, you know, I don't think she wants you there. And then that's probably when I came in and was like, yeah, like she said she doesn't want you there. And then it just kind of just stopped there.
And what did Luna say?
Luna was just like, oh, but like, why? What the fuck? Something about like the address. Like she doesn't want her address being given out. And then Luna was like, oh, but she's not that important for me to do that.
Yeah, I know. That's the same thing that the bitch told me here.
Yeah. She
was doing the same thing. She was like, it was crazy because Prime was here and Christian was here and my daughter was here. And we was having a conversation. At first, it was a me and her conversation, and then everybody was in the room. But then it kind of got heated, and he wanted us to be alone, which is weird as fuck. I'm like, you want us to fight? Like, that's why I'm like, what the fuck? So it was like a part of the conversation when Luna was like, that you're not that important. But the way she was saying it was kind of aggressive, like how you would be honest. Like that's how she was talking to me. And what was going through my head was like, bitch, this is my house. Like, if you want to talk to me like that, get the fuck out.
Right.
So that, yeah. So when she said that I wasn't important aggressively, I was like, bitch, you're not important either. Like, I told her just like that. And that's when everybody was just like gagging. I was like, yeah, that's how I feel too. Like, cause it's like, people know that I'm nice, and sometimes they take advantage until they see a whole different side of me, and then they be like, oh shit, like she's probably nobody to be played with. Cause again, like, a lot of bitches don't know, but I was raised with 4 brothers. Like, we all took self-defense classes, karate. I just don't show that side of me because I don't want to be perceived as like this fighter or this person who start problems. I don't like that. I want to be perceived as this kind person that I am. So, and I'd rather let all that anger on something that's more serious, which Luna was not.
It wasn't my place to say it. It was definitely your place to say it whenever you were ready to say it, or if you were gonna say it.
Right.
So
I definitely was gonna say it. I just wanted time to see how Luna is now and see how, like, if she changed or not. Because look, like, even during the FaceTime call, she calls us like crazy and she don't even give a fuck. Like, she'd be like, oh yes, daddy, ha ha. I'm like, girl, a lot of people don't want to be called, and you still calling and try to start problems.
Yeah, even with me sometimes, I'll be like, yo, stop fucking calling me. Like, I legit have to turn off my FaceTime.
Yeah, that's annoying.
There's times where I had to block Luna a few times.
Period.
And then Luna would call me private, like, can you unblock me? Let's stop fucking calling me then.
Right. Like, annoying. Like, no shade. Bitches.
But I got a soft spot for Luna.
No, me.
I've known Luna for like 8 years, so it's just
and I've known her for a while too. It's just that we wasn't as close though, because there was a long fucking gap.
Right.
We did not talk. Me and you, me and George, me and Luna for a long time.
I mean,
the only person I kept in contact with was Prime. That's it. Because he was like a brother to me, so we always spoke all the time.
Yeah, because even when I was around you, when I first met you, it's not like we were like, oh, buddy, buddy. It was just like, oh, I saw you when I saw you. Hey, what's up?
Right,
That's
yeah.
it. Like, we never really had conversations.
But I did thought we was gonna be a lot closer after me doing your makeup. Cause I'm like, bitch, like I don't even let people put makeup on myself. So it's like I thought like that was like some kind of sister bond right there, and we was gonna probably become a little bit closer. Maybe not besties, but like, you know, just close friends.
Yeah, because I feel like after that day, I didn't see you again.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate all the questions. I'm so happy we were able to sit down and talk things out.